So I'm not gonna lie, when I found out Bethesda were going to be releasing a 10-year Fallout 4 anniversary, a little part of me was pretty excited. Of course, I kind of always had in the back of my mind that it was going to be a massive cash grab that was probably going to continue to break the game a little bit more and more. But as a massive Fallout 4 fan, to the point where I think it's quite publicly known by you guys that Fallout 4 is my all-time favorite game, there was, of course, a little part of me that was pretty excited about this. Of course, I was very much looking forward to playing the new creations that they, were adding alongside this update. I played them and made a ton of videos on them and ended up enjoying myself quite a little bit while doing that. And it genuinely felt to me like it was one final goodbye to Fallout 4, really, and the Creation Club more so, which was awesome. It was cool to kind of have that send off, even though there's not really anything to move on to because Bethesda take 19 years to make every game. But in saying all of that, with the positives of me being excited, trying to get some nostalgia back and reliving some cool Creation Club moments and saying goodbye, those positives really came with 900 million more negatives, because unfortunately the Fallout 4 10-year anniversary edition is completely broken to the point where I believe it makes the next gen edition look really small. Like when the next generation edition came out to Fallout 4 and added the ability to convert to PS5 and Xbox Series X, it really didn't add anything new at all. Like, it's not like the graphics were really any better or anything crazy. I don't really know why Bethesda ended up doing it, just besides giving them the ability to say, hey, we gave you something to go alongside Fallout Season 1. When that came out, I think everyone on the internet was kind of blown away because of how bad it was in terms of all the glitches it added and game crashing bugs. But I think we can all look back at that and say, holy shit, that was nothing compared to now, because the Fallout 4 10-year anniversary edition completely touched everyone's game without consent. Like, it was genuinely crazy. I think over the last couple of days, they've had to really put in a lot of patches and a lot of hot fixes, which is extremely unlike Bethesda in recent years. Usually when they release something in one of their older games and it breaks a couple of things, they're like, we don't really give a fuck because it just works.
It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4, and this time it features all new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology.
But this time, the game was that broken that they legitimately had to take their finger out of their bunda and genuinely lock in and try and fix what was happening, which didn't really do it. I mean, the game is still in a terrible state. It's in by far the worst state it's ever been, and it is very obvious that Bethesda have no idea how to fix half of these problems. Some people legitimately just say, oh, Bethesda are so lazy, they aren't putting the time in actually fixing a lot of these glitches that came with the next gen update and have now came with the anniversary update, which is somewhat true, but also I genuinely believe they don't know how to. I think this game is so beyond broken now with all the glitches that it has added and game-breaking bugs that Bethesda don't actually know how to fix their own game, which is the only time, I can't believe in 2025 I can say that a big game company doesn't even know how to fix their own game. And that is just the state of Bethesda and how cooked their games overall are at the moment and the reputation that they have. But I've showed you guys on the channel, for those of you who haven't seen some of these bugs and glitches, they're really, really fucking bad. It started off with the creation service, the new creation club that they added. If you actually tried to go on there, it would just flat out not load, and there would be people getting stuck on the screen, and it just would be a really bad situation. And then if you did progress further to that and you were able to buy a creation or whatever it might be, a lot of people had what I had, where the game would just completely crash to desktop. If you're on PS4 or Xbox, you'd get like an error bug, and especially on PlayStation, it would say, do you want to submit this to Bethesda so we can get it to be fixed or something? I don't know. But that's one that a lot of people encountered. There were people that flat out just encountered like them buying points to buy these creations, and when they bought points, the points like just didn't go into their account for a little bit, or they would go on to buy the creation, but the creation wouldn't register and it wouldn't download, or whatever it might be. I think everyone has experienced every little bug for this, and I mean, it sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Like, I haven't even gotten to the gameplay point of view yet, but if you buy something in real life, right? Let's just say I went to KFC and I bought a Zinger box, right? And I buy the Zinger box and it's missing half the food. Well, then I'm basically entitled to compensation to get back what I want. And if they don't give me back what I want, then I can, you know, take some further action. But that never happens because these fast food places, everything like that, they don't want that shit to happen. They'll probably even give you extra to just shut your bitch ass up from freaking whining about it or whatever, right? But this applies to video games too. And it applied literally to Fallout 76. When Fallout 76 was released in Australia and was a complete buggy mess that for a lot of people didn't work, not only did people get their refund back, but Bethesda actually got sued, I believe, for releasing a faulty, unfinished game. And it was a massive issue. Where I'm going with this is, if you've got people buying points in your game and they can't spend these points because the game is that glitched and broken, that is going to be a lawsuit. It will be a lawsuit. Now, I'm pretty sure they figured it out. I think most people have been able to avoid this now. But for the 1 or 2 people who haven't, fucking God bless your soul, Bethesda. But also, maybe don't release a really broken service that's going to cook everybody and continue to ruin your reputation. You know, just a thought. But obviously, outside of that, I don't want to get into too much of that because I really don't know. For all I know, by the time this video comes out, Bethesda have fixed everything to do with that creations page, and everyone's got their points, which hopefully they all have. Hopefully that's all been settled down, and I'm sure it will have by now, or at least I fucking hope, right? Moving on to the gameplay, which most of these creations just flat out now crash your game. Like, I was playing the Ion gun, and literally in like my first 2 minutes of gameplay, the gun made my game crash and was just on an infinite VAT screen shooting at the Brotherhood of Steel. I mean, that was fun. You've also got people's games who don't even download these creations now, who are just flat out crashing everywhere. Like, I remember when I was playing, and this is with the creations, I was crashing once every 20 or 30 minutes, and that is on a PS5, which is very, very capable, obviously, of playing Fallout 4. And it was crashing every 20 to 30 minutes just from the glitches and bugs that, of course, this well and truly did add, which was very, very unfortunate. And then there's just little things like that I have talked about countless times on the channel. For example, these creations basically being unfinished or unpolished. For example, the Institute plasma weapons. Like, everyone knows that the Institute's weapons shoot blue out. Like, they shoot blue. Brotherhood of Steel shoot red. They use the fusion weapons. Institute uses these blue, like, plasma weapons. It's always been that way. And when you do buy this creation, you get 3 weapons. 2 of them shoot out blue plasma, basically, like they should, because it's an Institute weapon. And then there's one which shoots out green, which is really funny. That the main component, basically, is you shooting out of these guns. And whoever made this creation, which was probably 2 or 3 people, shout out them, and we're getting paid by Bethesda to do this job. They didn't test it clearly enough or care enough to see that one of their own weapons was shooting out a different color. Now, Am I just whining like a little bitch? Is there much more bigger things in the world to worry about than shooting out a wrong color? I mean, fuck, yes, obviously, like, I do sound like a little bitch when I'm talking about this. I'm not gonna lie to ya. But the reason I'm mentioning this one little thing is because there's 897 million different things that are like this. And when you pay for something, you want a good product. You want it to be good. You don't want it to be unfinished or unpolished. And that's the type of shit most of these creations are. I mean, even the bunker creation, where most of the bunkers look really like something that came out of a 2010 video game and looks so... the textures just look bad, and they look really not Fallout 4 and not up to 2015 to the next gen graphics that we should be having. I mean, there's a lot of different things. The Fallout 4 10-year anniversary overall sucks, unfortunately. I'm hoping it gets better over time, but let's be honest here, Bethesda probably just won't touch this game after a week, and it will just be glitched forever and ever. Amen. But that's just what we're going to be seeing. Of course, I'd very much like to hear all your thoughts and opinions on this down below. What do you guys think of this week's Fallout 4 Creation Club update and whatnot? I say this week's, I mean the Anniversary Edition Creation Club update. Of course, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Subscribe to the channel for the latest gaming and movie content. My sports channel will also be linked down below. Go check that out. And go give me a follow on Instagram if you haven't already as well. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.